Okay, I'm bored. You're bored. Let's get this over with. This is part one to what Deku was a dragonborn. Let's get this started. Alright, we open up at Deku's birth. You know where I'm going with this. The, doc- the doctor spanks him because he doesn't cry. And yeah, Deku he just says, Foos! Saying the doctor actually back of it. Like, whoa, is that is that the kid's quirk? He tells the nurses and the doctor to come over here see just see what this kid does. Is like let's say what are you talking about? Like, hold on, he spanks Deku again. And Deku shouts again, like whoosh. But this time it's actually stronger, actually sending him back the doctors and nurses back further than the previous doctor did. Like, ma'am, but your son's quirk seems to be not only draconic in nature, but his voice seems to be a weapon as well. Which Inko is like, really? She looks at Deku and sees those emerald green eyes, and she's proud of him. And Deku's life was actually pretty good for the most part, up until he gets to age 4, which, yeah, things change. Bakugo gets his quirk and starts bullying this one kid, and Deku, he's being Deku. He protects her. But when Bakugo starts throwing his explosions at Deku, Deku gets angrier and angrier until he starts to stand up. Taller than Bakugo, his wings are spread out wide as hell, and he tells Bakugo to back off. Bakugo doesn't listen and throws another explosion right at Deku's face, almost just singeing his hair. And Deku, he's like, "Oh, okay." And this is when he actually roars and breathes a huge burst of fire that erupts straight from his mouth. Bakugo, he runs off, scared of Deku, and the one Deku was trying to save runs off out in pure fear until Deku actually stops him, tells him that it's okay, I won't hurt you. I just wanted to scare him. What? How did you do that? I don't know. It just came natural. My dad, my mom told me my dad actually had fire breathing, so maybe that's it. Which, well, thank you. No problem. Just don't worry about Kachan. He's just a jerk. Ever since he got his quirk and everything. The next day in preschool, Bakugo's told everyone about Deku's quirk, but instead of praising him for how strong it is, they start to avoid him, and someone just starts calling him a villain over the large amount of firepower that Bakugo said Deku had. So Deku has actually started to be bullied, not because he's quirkless or didn't have power, but because he has too much of it. And yeah, it only gets worse as he gets older. From slight insults to people not just talking to him or staying away from him, to sometimes them not even acknowledging that he's there. When he actually arrives at middle school, it's when it gets far more brutal and ruthless. Sometimes even people throwing rocks at him, telling the teacher that Deku started a fight and they were just defending themselves. Which the teacher is a lot more of an ass. Let's say that in this timeline, Because, yeah, thanks to Bakugo, he sowed the seeds of deceit and fear within anyone who would listen to him, in which only Inko and Bakugo's parents really know Deku. That he's a kind person who wouldn't hurt a fly unless he needed to. In which Bakugo, he's more quiet at home. He doesn't tell his parents what he's done or anything like that. And yeah, he's pretty much avoided Deku as much as he can, making it so Deku doesn't tell them anything. Bakugo is actually put something in Deku's mind saying that no matter he can he can tell them, but no one's gonna believe him. At the end of middle school, Deku he's a social outcast, a loner. No one wants to talk to him. No one wants to be around him. And yeah, when school ends, he doesn't even care about being a hero. He just wants to be left alone. And now, let's get to the overpass. But it's not the sludge villain this time. It's actually a group of thugs that have heard about Deku through some, passerby kids talking about him and everything. And they decide to actually mug Deku, beat him up, but Deku knows how strong he is. But Inko made it so Deku is more passive, and all the years of people calling him a villain, he doesn't want to give them a reason to. He doesn't want to prove them right. This one guy actually has a strength quirk. Puts Deku's head over a center block. They're in an alley by now, and snaps off his arm. Well, not his arm, his horn. Damn, can't talk right now. Deku yells because, yeah, believe me, that would hurt like hell. And the guy who broke it off just grabs it and takes it as a trophy. They're laughing as they just left Deku there, bloody and beaten, in which he is tough, but these were grown men that did this. Deku limps home. Inko sees the blood on him, the cuts and bruises, because this was brutal. These they beat him up, kicked him, threw him to a wall, hit him with pipes, bricks, all of that. And and yeah, when Inko sees that, she's scared. She's wondering who did this to her son. Which Deku, he's just saying he's fine, and walks to his room and goes to sleep. And then he actually runs into these guys again, but this time there's someone there that saves him. This mysterious cloaked guy just shows up and beats these men senseless with a iron pipe. They was just so happened to be there. Deku looked up at the man, and he looks more like. And yeah, he looks like this. Deku asks, why did you help me? Because, boy, you have an amazing power, at which I wish to help you cultivate. I've been watching you for a while now, and am curious to why you allow them to treat you such a way. It's because I don't want to hurt them. Hurt them. You are the oppressed, and them the oppressors. Why not defend yourself? Because I don't want them to think I'm a villain. Oh, I suppose that letting them walk all over you is a better option. I, I listen. You are not alone in this world. Your power, your voice, it is a powerful weapon, but you can use it for good if you learn how to control it. I will help you if you wish. However, the training will be long and difficult. You will have to leave home for an extended period of time. How long? Years. You will not be able to return home until I feel like you have learned all you needed. I can't do that. You can't? What be your reason? My mom, I don't want to leave her here all alone. I understand that for I I won't bother you. However, if you wish to reconsider my offer, I will be listening. And with that, the man walks away and disappears from Deku's sight, and he heads on home. When he gets home, Inko sees that he has some scrapes and bruises, but not nearly as much before. And she asks him what happened, which, yeah, he tells her everything, especially about the guy who he has no idea who he is, but saved him just out of the kindness of his heart. And Inko's just thinking, so there's someone around here that doesn't fear my son? In which Deku just keeps telling about how this man looks, his weird clothes. He seemed very old and elderly, but he was able to easily beat those thugs. Which Inko was more worried about the fact that Deku didn't tell her about these guys before, and luckily someone saved him this time. But she's more scared of what would happen if that man wasn't there. And then Deku brings up the offer the man gave him. Inko asks why didn't he take it right away? Why did he want to learn how to use his power? In which Deku just said because he would have to be gone for countless years until he felt like I learned enough. In which Inko is like, you would have to leave me here alone. Yes. Do you want to learn? What? You heard me, Izu. Do you want to learn how to control this power of yours? Yes, but not at the expense of losing you. You're not losing me, Isu. I'll still be here. You'll just be on vacation for all I know. Don't worry. Oh, okay? Uh, are you sure? Yes. Um, but do me a favor. What is it? Will you write me every day? As many times as I can. I promise. Good. Well, you should go bed for tomorrow. Then you find this man and tell him that you accept his offer. And I. She starts to slowly tear up. It's like, Mom, I don't have to. Yes, you do. if this is happening because they think you're scary or something, if they think you won't fight back, then you should start fighting back. I was foolish to tell you not to defend yourself, to be passive like this. And what about Bakugo? What? You don't even talk about him anymore. And Deku's like, "Are you sure, Mom? Because once I'm gone, you don't know when I'll be back." In which she just goes to her room and takes out a locket, in which there's a picture of him, Hazashi, and Inko in it. Like, what's this for? So you don't forget us, you dummy. And then she takes out the same locket that's around her neck. And Deku is starting to tear up and hugs Inko, saying that he'll never forget her. They go to bed, and the next day, Deku sees the man again. "So, have you made your decision, boy? You were listening to us, weren't you? You know what I've chosen." "Very well. Let's begin on our journey. It is long, but well worth it." And they leave. And that is where I'm going to end this part off. But yeah, I decided to actually change up the whole My Hero thing in general. Because when you think about it, it is a what if. And I don't have to, just like how I change things from time to time, like how Deku's childhood was and stuff like that. I could go further than that. I could change Deku's whole experiences and all that. So I thought, how can I make this different? Because this is Skyrim. We talking about Skyrim's dragonborn that I'm messing with. So yeah, I'm gonna have some fun with this. Anyway, I am out. The peace and the love, children.